Stephen F. Austin has arrived. The Lumberjacks locker room is now open. Student athletes not joining us in the main interview room are available in the Stephen F. Austin locker room at this time. We're joined now by Stephen F. Austin student athletes Thomas Walkup, Trey Pinkney, and Demetrius Floyd, as well as head coach Brad Underwood. We'll ask Coach Underwood to give us an opening statement. Then we'll take questions first for the student athletes.
Well, I've been dreading this moment for a long time. So if I get emotional, I apologize, because that's who I am. A lot of credit to Notre Dame. They made the plays when they had to make the plays. It's what a good basketball team, one of the final 32 teams in the country, does. I thought the first half it was more about us and some of the mistakes that we made. We didn't play our best half. We knew how good their numbers were offensively, and yet. You know, I thought Beecham really hurt us, and we didn't rotate very well out of our ball screens, which we normally do, our ball screen coverage. I think we only forced 4 turnovers the first half compared to 9 the second half. That was a big difference. But I think once we got settled down and we got into the second half and we got into flow offensively, I think it was a little bit better. Demetrius got going. Made a few shots for us, and I can't say enough about Thomas, and I thought T.J. Holyfield and Ty Charles, after literally not getting to play in the first game due to foul problems, were excellent tonight. But again, all the credit in the world goes to Notre Dame. They made the play, and ironically, we lost on something that we take a great deal of pride in, and that's we do a very good job of ourselves as offensive rebound. But very tough day, very emotional locker room. These are 3 of the 5 seniors that are the winningest players, Trey and Tom, the winningest players in the history of our program. They've set a new standard for SFA basketball. They've set a culture for SFA basketball. For that, I will be forever grateful. And as hard as today is, I think it's extremely important that each of these young men walk away with their head held high, not just being proud for who they are, but proud of what they've done at Stephen F. Austin and the way they've represented our school. But a very, very, very difficult day.
We'll take questions now for the student athletes from Stephen F. Austin. Student athlete questions only first. If you have a question, please raise your hand. One of our microphone attendants will make his or her way in your direction. Questions for Stephen F. Austin? We have one all the way up front, all the way to the right.
Sure, this is for all the players, just your emotions when you see that last tip and go in after the first 2 shots that missed from Notre Dame.
We'll ask Thomas to take that first, then Trey, then Demetrius, please.
Extremely tough. So I have to say is ball we should have came up with after the first one, and it's tough to see it go through.
Yeah, like what Tom said, it's really hard, and something that we preach is finishing plays, and for that to be the way that we lost, it's hard.
Yeah, kind of what Trey said, just boxing out. But we ain't get it, and normally we come up with the ball, but we ain't get it that time. So.
Continuing with questions, let's go to the right side, and Mike.
Mike Vaccaro, New York Post, for any of the 3 of you or all of the 3 of you. The rest of us who maybe don't follow you as closely as some get charmed by a low seed beating a high seed as you guys did the other night and playing, you know, one of the most famous names in college sports, Notre Dame, to the Final Horn. But for you guys, I mean, is it important for you guys that we see you guys as a really good team who played a really good game against another really good team?
And let's have Thomas, Trey, and Demetrius answer in that order.
I think that's what this tournament's all about is, you know, for mid-majors to get in here and, you know, beat these high majors. And, you know, that's what makes the tournament so fun is the upsets. So I think, you know, that's what, you know, made it a blast for us.
Yeah, it's. I think it's also important because it just shows the amount of work that we put in to our season over the course of the year, and that hard work pays off. So being at this stage is really an honor.
Yeah, playing a team like Notre Dame, that's a blessing. Always.
Continuing with questions for the student athletes from Stephen F. Austin. There's one all the way to the back toward the right.
Yeah, John Furlong, WFUV Radio. Considering you guys have played your last game in a SFA uniform, what are you guys going to miss most about it?
Let's have Thomas, Trey, and Demetrius take that.
The brotherhood, just being around these guys.
Yeah, our togetherness was incredible, and just the heart that we show, and just we're a big family. I'm gonna miss that a lot.
Yeah, just being around the team, like Tom said.
Continuing with questions for Stephen F. Austin. We have one on the aisle to the right side. Max, go ahead.
Max Bonsetter, Sports Illustrated for Kids. This is for all three players. It was an excellent season, and you guys definitely played your hearts out, even though it was a difficult loss. How much better did you guys become by playing together over the past 4 years?
And let's have Thomas address that first, then Trey, then Demetrius.
Incredible. Whenever I came to SFA, I hadn't dreamed of winning games in the NCAA tournament. It was just about getting here and being part of the show. So, come in with Trey and do what we did and the time we were here is extremely special. Something I'll hold on to for forever.
Yeah, to piggyback what Tom said is extremely special. Coming in together and like growing together. I mean, on the court, off the court, knowing each other's tendencies is something that we'll remember for the rest of our lives. And kind of like what Coach said earlier, becoming the winningest players is a blessing, and that's something that you just can't take away from somebody.
Yeah, coming in SFA and then going to the NCAA tournament and making it this far, it's always a blessing.
We have time for one or two more questions for the student athletes. If there is one, please raise your hand. Any final question for the student athletes from Stephen F. Austin? Okay, we'd like to thank Thomas, Trey, and Demetrius for joining us here in the main interview room. They're going to head back to the locker room, which is still open for another 15 or so minutes. We'll now take questions for Coach Underwood, and the first one's going to come toward the back on the right side for Mike.
Coach, Mike Vaccaro, New York Post. I'd like to ask you the same question I asked your players. I mean, we all get charmed by the idea of a low seed and making these upsets, but for you, having been around these kids, you couldn't have been as surprised as the rest of us were for what you did on Friday and how you competed today. I mean, is it important for you to leave that legacy for these kids that it's just another good team playing another good team as opposed to, some kind of charming, upstart?
Well, I think we prove we belong. And I think that this team has known they belong all year. The improvement that this team made is dramatic because we started a true freshman in T.J. Holyfield, and it took us a little while to get our chemistry right. But I would not discredit Thomas Walkup and Trey Pinckney, those two in particular, in any way by saying they didn't belong, or that no matter what the name on the front, we don't care what the name on the front of the uniform says. And I don't mean that in disrespect to Notre Dame or to anybody we play. I know how hard those young men work. Thomas Walkup proved he's as good as any player in this tournament, and as there is in the country. And that young man's done it with hard work. And there's no. I mean, we're 1 point away from the Sweet 16, and one defensive rebound or one basket, one possession, however you'd like to look at it. And I don't think there's any question. Beating VCU 2 years ago, had our opportunities last year against Utah. The name doesn't mean anything. Stephen F. Austin is here to stay, and we've got good players, and the job that these guys have done establishing a culture has made it very special.
Continuing with questions for Coach Underwood. If you have a question, please raise your hand. In the back row.
Coach, John Walters from Newsweek. Seconding just what you said, I think Thomas Walkup played as well as anybody in the nation this weekend. Can you talk to us about his evolution from when he arrived to now, and just how much he has improved?
Well, 2 points a game as a freshman, and really a positionless player because he physically didn't have the strength that he has now. The one thing that we do is we lift weights it's a big part of our program and the growth of our program. That has allowed Tom to be multidimensional and versatile, and Tom guards literally 4 or 5 different spots on the court. His best position at the next level is the point, and but his versatility has been allowed him has come through the weight room. Now, in no way do I want to cheapen the effort that he has put in on the court, and he was a young man that couldn't shoot, didn't make threes, and everything was. He was a 50% free throw shooter as a freshman. Well, 19 of 20 on Friday night, and 7 of 7 today, and the work that young man has put in, he's made himself one of the elite players in college basketball, and that's a tribute all to his work ethic, and I don't even talk about the mental, because that young man watches more film and prepares better than any player I've ever been around.
Continuing with questions for Coach Underwood. If you have a question, please raise your hand. All the way to the right, all the way to the back.
Brad, it's Kevin Gore from Nacogdoches. Maybe, I don't think y'all scored the last minute and a half or minute 40. And maybe talk about y'all's offensive execution. I think you're up 75-70. Just talk about your execution on offense down the stretch.
Had to remind me of that, didn't you? We were putting the ball in Tom's hands, and give them credit because they made the stops that they needed to make. And the one thing that we were going to do was have him make a pass, have him make a shot, or have him get fouled. And again, they came up with the plays, and it was no different than what we did the other night against West Virginia. We put the ball in Tom's hands, and I'll do it again every single time. I'm going to live and die with that young man, and then we needed one to go or a defensive rebound.
Continuing with questions for Coach Underwood. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll send the microphone in your direction. There's one just to the left of the aisle. Patrick, come up a little bit. We're going to use the right side microphone.
Roger Sherman, SB Nation. Coach, it had been about a month and a half since you guys even played a game that was decided by less than 10 points. What was it like down the stretch? What was your team's mentality late?
Oh, I think they were pretty confident. I mean, the one thing that our team knows how to do is win. And I don't think there was any question. I think we were all pretty focused and dialed in. We knew our staff on our bench. We knew when we had foul to give late. We knew when we had talked about what situation we were going to do. We were going to run and jump, try to get the ball out of Jackson's hands. We were going to do that off of the Farrell kid. We had talked about all of that stuff. Again, it was trying to exploit. And Jackson's tremendous. He was made big plays and does what a pro guard should do. But he had a couple tough shots, but we were poised. We were right there, and I mean that was we haven't had many close games in the last month until we got here. But we work on those situations quite often.
We have time for one or maybe two more questions for Coach Underwood, if there are any. Any further questions? There's one on the left. One over here.
Coach Chris Barca, SNY. Off the court, what are you going to miss most about Thomas?
He's a better kid than he is a player, and that's what I'll miss. He's funny. He's smart. This is what this is about. He's everything that this is about. It's relationships, it's people, it's a student athlete with 2 degrees. It's a student athlete who made himself great. How do you not fall in love with a kid like that? And we use the term love a lot in our program. And he's got a wonderful family. there's not enough adjectives to say what I feel about that young man. And he's going to go make it in whatever endeavor he chooses, beyond basketball, with basketball, whatever. I love that kid to death.
Is there a final question for Coach Underwood? If there is, please raise your hand. Thank you very much, Coach Underwood.
Thank you.